Hello adventurers. So as you can see, I've got the bike in here. I was just about to get ready for a trip in the car, but I was going to go with someone else and they have to work. So I'm going to switch to the bike. It's a remote ride, so I've got to make sure the bike's in tip-top shape, and then I've got to be able to have enough water and fuel to do the trip. So I might get the map out and just show you where we're going, and then just going to do a quick run over the bike and sort of start to get it packed up, ready for when we take off. I'll go get the map. So here's the map of West Australia. So we're here in Perth. So I'm going to ride out through here to around, where am I? Around here somewhere. And then we're going to ride up through here, across to here and across to Yellowdine. And then there's a thing I want to look at, a rock with a visited as a kid, and I'm trying to find where it is. I think it's in here. We're going to ride into here, then back to Southern Cross, and then the main meat of the ride is up through here, the Aurora range, which a lot of people know about, and then up through all this. This is a peninsula here between salt lakes. So we're going to sort of be in this general area here as much as I can with the fuel and water. I do know there is some water out here. It's not real good drinking water, it's cattle water, but I will take a filter and be able to use that. But fuel will be the limiting factor, and we'll just explore around here. I have been in this area in the four-wheel drive, but I have never done it on the motorbike. And there's some places that I want to get to that I haven't been to before, that I've researched. So that's where we'll be heading, and then on the way back we'll be heading back, and then heading back to Perth. So that's the general trip over a couple of days, or 3 days. So there's the GPS. We can see where we are. There's West Australia. So we'll be heading out this area here. So that's the GPS on, powered and charging. And all I need to do is put my map into this that I've made up on the computer. So GPS done. So next we need to check the air cleaner. It's actually pretty good. I don't think I'll need to do anything with that. I do have a second one. Just wondering if I start with a fresh one. Maybe I will start with a fresh one, so maybe we'll clean that air cleaner. Just take off this side cover. Just, because this oil is really sticky, and then we just undo the wing nut in here. And I've got one already pre-oiled, and we will put that in and then clean this one up and put it into the bag as the spare. And so that's the old one, and I'll just go and get the new one. So this is the new one. As you can see, that is super sticky oil. This is a redback filter, so we'll take the cage out of the middle of this and stick it in this one. Just work that in slowly without damaging the foam. So you can see in there that that's no dust has got past the seal, and it's all nice and oily and clean. So that that should be good. We'll stick the next one in. So you just do this wing nut up, finger tight, and that just seals it up against the face. And I'm just cleaning this in a little bit of petrol with gloves on, but you can use solvent. This is a oil-based air cleaner oil, so I'm actually going to buy a water-based one next, so I can actually clean this easier when I'm on the run, because you don't always want to use your petrol to waste your petrol to clean your filter when you get stuck. So we'll clean that out and dry it, and then we'll re-oil it. Okay, we've just got to head down to the bike shop. I've got to get some parts and some filter oil to carry with me, and organise some other stuff. So let's head down there and get that.
Absolutely, and it's good to see too the venerable GSX R600 and so catching up to the two boys in front of him at the moment. Mason Coote putting the pressure on Marcus Giardo every lap. He's getting back in the groove. It's becoming harder to track that man down.
Well, some people want to actually understand, Steve.
Like the neck tube.
Yeah, someone down here.
So that's it, got the oil, got the other stuff, so let's head back to the garage. So the filter should be dry. Filter's dry, so we'll go and re-oil this filter. So you pour it in all over the filter, and then you just squish it all together in here and try and work it through the filter. And that's why it's a bright green colour, so you can see if it's worked all the way through the filter or not. And then I normally just leave it in that bag, and I put it inside this bag, and then I put that on the bike. So that's the filter done. So we're going to put the panniers on and then start to work out what we're going to stick where. So I'll go and get those. There's a little tool I have for doing this. It should be in here somewhere. Here it is. I painted it red so I could see it, and that's my little tool for getting the panniers on. So we'll go and get those and we'll stick those on. I didn't put them on before because you can't get to the oh, I've got to put that side panel on as well. You can't get to the oil filter with them on, so we'll get those on now. So that's one side of the panniers on. Now we'll get this other side on. Panniers on. There used to be a mudguard on here that used to hook to, but I took that off because the tyre used to hit it all the time. GoPro stickers are coming off. So we just have to get this stuff packed up. There's nothing in that one. So just starting to get the stuff together. There's some sleeping stuff and a chair, jet boil, I've got some spare parts, tubes, different bits and pieces of spare parts, bolts, nuts. There's some oil, chain oil that I'll take. This side will have some clothes and food and some ground sheets. The sleeping stuff generally goes in there. Then I'll put the bags on here, that carries a lot of the water, and then I'll pack that one. So that's what I'm up to, so I'll stick these front ones on. So I've just been down and got some water and some other bits and pieces to finish off this main piece of the bike setup. And I've got some Fiji Water Girl water. It's the perfect shape, it's a litre per bottle, and I can fit 3 in. Being squarish bottles, you can fit a bit more in than the round bottles, a bit less wasted space. So I should be able to put 3 of those on each side. So let's go and get that done. I've got some food. I'm going to pack up the sleeping stuff, finish off my parts, and then get to some safety stuff. So let's get that started. So we should be able to slide 2 of these to the bottom quite snugly. These bags are a bit tapered. And then we should be able to put one on the top, making sure that this pointy bit goes to this end. Like that. And then we need to just roll this. We should be able to get these clips on the side in. One in, this one here in, and then there's this goes over the top, and we should be able to get this in to hold. There you go. 3 litres of water, and I'll do the same on the other side. So on a trip like this, my standard food is the freeze-dried food. It's just easy. If I was going on a longer trip, I'd get a mixture. This is just good to carry, it's very light. You do have to carry the water for it, but I always get the 2-serve versions. I always find a single serve after a day of riding is not enough, so I've got enough for dinner on these and some breakfast, and then I've also got some muesli bars and different things. So we'll pack all the food in there, and I've got a couple of snacks, and see how that all fits in, and then get on to packing this stuff into there. That's pretty well the food done. Just a mixture of freeze-dried food, some nuts, some snacks, and muesli bars that I usually have for lunch, and sometimes for breakfast. So now we'll start to get this organised. So there's the hand pump. Get this organised and get some of this stuff in here, so that will be next. Just the bed. That's the pillow. That's pretty good. So I've got my fuel up here. I've got 3 jerrys on. They're 5 each. That's 15 extra litres. I'll have to see how far that can get me. That sits there very solid. Normally I'll put my tent up there, but I've put the tent on here. That's solid there, just on top of that pannier. That's not very heavy. Good thing about this setup is when you stop, you can just lift this up. It's all just hooked to the lid and bolted through. So that's how I will carry the fuel. I normally transfer fuel from here to the tank as quickly as I can to get the weight down off the back, so I can get that weight forward. So next is, I think I'll get my air seat out and put that on, and then get some safety gear as well, and get that organised. So on with the packing. When it comes to safety stuff, what am I taking? So I've got a spot, an inReach, that's a UHF radio, that's a GPS, which I actually don't need if I use the inReach because it's built in, and a satellite phone. And the inReach and the spot act as the emergency PLB style beacon. I also have a compass, but I noticed that is actually broken, so I'm going to have to get a new compass. And that's what I usually take, and I have it in my bag. Well, this one actually sits on my chest on one of the straps, so maybe I can show that. And that's what I take as emergency. So this is I can text and check in. This I can check in if I take this. I'll probably take this one. This is if I need to organise anything, and I had this before I had the texting on that. But if you need to use a phone, which sometimes you do because you can't text police and that as easily, you can use the phone. So that's the safety stuff that'll sit in this bag with easy access if I need it. Except for this sits on my strap on my chest, just away on the right hand side. So let's get all that packed up. So I've got everything laid out here. It's going to go up into here. And I like to stick some of the things in little bags that I get, sunglasses bags, to stop them rubbing together, especially things like the two-way radio. Try and keep them nice. So we'll slowly get everything in there. This is quite a big bag. It actually extends out quite a way. So I've got my maps in the top. So we'll put the CB radio in this little bag, keep it nice. Got the sat phone already in a bag. That is a light for the GoPro in a bag. That is a lavalier microphone. And some other bits and pieces. So in here is one drone. That goes in first. Take out the cord, that goes in first. And then there's the drone controller. Next. Stick in the cell phone. Stick in the radio. Stick in the light. Put all these cables into little bags. Keep them separated. So last trip out, my little trusty cheap compressor, the cigarette lighter rattled apart, and when I went to use it, it was all bits were missing and I couldn't find them, so I had to just cut it off and jury rig it up. But on the bike I've got these DIN connectors, or bullet DIN connectors, or I'm not 100% sure what they're called, but they don't rattle apart, which is the huge advantage, and they're simple. So I'm actually going to add one of those to this compressor, and then this won't rattle apart, and it'll fit onto the bike's current electrical setup. So let's get the soldering iron out and we'll do all that. So the ribbed wire on these should be negative, which is this one, and the smooth wire should be positive. So we'll just twitch those together. And we'll just solder them. Always like to solder wires. It's just a far better connection. And then we're just going to put over this heat shrink. And we will put the heat gun. This bigger heat shrink and go right over the top. And that should get the compressor going. So we'll go try that out on the bike. I've got everything in these. I'm pretty well done packing these panniers. I've got some room in here for some clothes and some other stuff. My fuel, I've got the tent and accommodation stuff in there. Electronics is in here. So now I've just got here in this tool tube my tools. So there's some bits and pieces here. That's a chain link, some fuses, chain breaker, and then tyre levers, and all the things I need to basically fix the bike. So just double checking all that, it's all in there and still working and not seized up. So we're going to stick that back in the tool tube, and that's probably going to be it for today. And then tomorrow I'll go through what I'm going to wear, safety gear and the helmet camera and a few things like that. So we'll get all this back in. So it's the next day and I'm just getting my safety gear and suit ready. So I was just going to go through what I normally wear when I'm out, especially on solo rides. Solo rides you have to be a little more careful than if you're with a group, because obviously you're on your own. You have to be able to handle a bit of a crash or a slide, or maybe just fall off going up a hill. So let's go through what I've got. So I'll start at the top. Just got an O'Neill helmet, nothing fancy, but it's been a good helmet. And I've got a center, and I've got the molded earplugs. These things are unreal, and anybody who's on a bike needs a set of those. I have a Liat neck brace. I have underneath a, I think this is Liat as well, yep, Liat chest, and basically an armor suit, and it's got back armor in it as well. Then a dry rider jacket, which has also armor in it. Gloves, dry rider pants with knee armor, and I also have wear pods. What are they? K4 pods, and I got those after I hurt my knee once. And these hold your knee but also protect your knee and stop those sorts of injuries, or help stop those injuries. Down to these former adventure boots, which there's debate. Some people like them, some people hate them. They've been good for me. I haven't had any trouble with them, and they're nice and comfortable. So that's the basic suit and what I wear for protection in case of some sort of crash or slide. So that pretty well wraps up the preparation. Pretty well all ready to go. There's only a couple of things I need to get, and we'll pack it away and wait for the long weekend. So I hope you've enjoyed, and if you like this sort of stuff, just subscribe. It's always good to see that subscribe count go up, and yeah, wait for the next one. Next one will be the ride video.